Alrighty, time to do the third chill stream of Tangle Tower. Alrighty. Ooh,
That's all the statements.
Let's go over them all.
yes, let's do so. Also fix the audio issues because the game was really loud and I was like really quiet so you could barely hear me at times. I figured it out and it's one of those solutions where you feel like such an idiot after you get it, so hopefully this sounds a lot better in my past streams. Maybe that'll help out a little bit. Alrighty. Hey, what's up? Alright. Let's go over the suspect statements now. We might be able to finish up the game tonight. We'll have to see. I kind of hope we do. Like, it'd be nice to wrap it up. I do love the game though, so it'll also be kind of bittersweet too.
That's all the statements collected. Let's run through them all to see if anything doesn't add up.
To see if anyone's been lying.
That too.
Fitz and I were up in the Moonlight Garden most of the afternoon. Then we heard this sound. Lasted about 3 seconds.
We thought it was coming from Flora's tower, so we went up there.
Her door was locked. Nobody was answering. So I made Fitz kick down the door.
Poppy and I went in. Freya was right there, laying on her back.
I left my tower and headed down towards the Grand Hall.
But in the hall, I spotted Uncle Pointer heading down the stairs. I vacated the library, but before I could begin my ascent, Professor Pointer appeared.
I didn't know what to do. So I ran downstairs to get Fifi.
I heard someone heading down the stairs, just outside my room.
Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it, until the someone began shouting at me.
Eventually, she let me in.
I spotted Detective Hawkshaw coming out of the library.
He emerged from the Pointer staircase, crossed the hall, and begun up the fellow staircase. As I was passing through the front door, Penelope called out from behind me. I inquired about the professor, and she told me he'd gone up the fellow tower.
I told her what had happened. She didn't believe me. She got angry.
I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face.
I recognized Fiona's voice as well as the voice of my own daughter.
We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs.
I ran up the stairs, hoping to catch up with him, but Felix appeared and blocked my path.
Back in the hallway, I bumped into a very concerned-looking Penelope. She was heading up Fellow Tower to find Professor Pointer, so I escorted her.
Poppy left the room for a while. When she came back, she had her father with her, and Fifi too.
Felix and Penny arrived shortly after we did.
A moment later, we were gazing down on the body of poor Freya.
Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting.
She took me down to the library. We were in there about 15 minutes.
I quickly decided that I should leave also. I took Penelope with me, and we both went back to our rooms in Pointer Tower.
I wanted to go back to my room, but I realized nobody had told Detective Hawkshaw anything.
An unremarkable hour passed before the gardener finally made his appearance.
I think she was annoyed about being made to wait outside so long. But when I told her about Freya, she fell silent.
That's disappointing.
What is?
All the statements line up with each other.
They don't just line up. Some of them even seem to specifically confirm each other.
Almost as if something was planned, which is very interesting. So it's possible that people are working together. We just don't know whom and for why. But yeah, if something lines up perfectly in a mystery story, that's when you need to get a little bit suspicious. Because usually it means like people are either working together, this was planned, you know, something like that. Especially if like every alibi is accounted for. Because I mean, somebody had to murder. Alrighty. So now at this point in the game, we've met up with everyone, we got everyone's statements. Now we just need to figure out everyone's little suspicions. So we need to start going back to people that we haven't been to in a while, showing them things, and basically trying to get them to talk. Okay, so we already cleared up his suspicion. We already cleared up hers. Let me see. Let me go back to Poppy and see if I can't present anything to her. Bum, 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 bum. Let me show her these people since we haven't gotten her statement on them.
Eavesdrop what the stars are saying. Earthly tether, slowly fraying. Floating, helpless from the worst. Of jealous hunger, selfish thirst. Take a moment, kneel and meet. The flowers growing at your feet.
I always like her little poems.
Feathers flashing in the light. From a sunbeam, gleaming bright. I shield my eyes and turn my head. But all at once I've been misled. Light is shining on the stage, but through the railings of a cage.
Ah, how nice. Okay, now let's see if we can't present anything to her. Alrighty, maybe this crumpled paper.
Those petals,
What about them?
it's nothing. They're just unusual.
It's because they come from the Moonlight Garden right outside her bedroom. Bum, bum, bum. Okay.
I think it's kind of cruel to keep 3 birds in one cage like that.
Does Penny not let them out to fly?
Oh, she does. She must do. But I don't think they're allowed to go far. Penny can be a little protective.
Aw. Poor birds.
That belongs to Flora, I think.
Okay. Maybe showing Flora that book will yield something.
Never seen that one before. Was it in the greenhouse?
No, we found it in Penny's room.
Right.
Okay. Alright, so I think I can show Fitz the flower petals and see if we can get him to say something about that. Bum 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. Hey big guy, what's up? Got anything to say? Bum, bum. About this?
Those petals, they,
What?
they're red.
Oh, and that's it?
Penelope knows about birds. You should ask her instead.
Actually, I wanted to ask you about something. There's a plant mentioned on this page, see? Do you have any? In the greenhouse?
No, I don't grow that anymore. I've tried, in the past. It's incredibly difficult, even for me. I could never get it to live more than a couple of weeks.
Ouch. Alrighty.
A flower.
Yeah, it's a flower. We found it in Penny's room.
Okay.
Mean anything to you?
Why would it?
Come on.
I don't really go into Penny's room or anywhere in Pointer Tower. I just don't have a reason to.
We already got his statement on that.
Penelope's 3 favorite birds. She's very protective over them.
Are they like her pets? Do they have names?
Oh, they have names. Penelope loves to name things.
Do you remember what she named them?
I do not.
Can't blame him. I couldn't remember the names either. I don't know if he'll say anything about this, but let's
You
see.
ever seen this before, Fitz?
No, but I don't normally go into Fifi's room.
That's not where we found it.
Oh, I just thought it looks like it belongs to her.
I know, right? She's already told us about it.
That's quite sweet, really.
Aw, how nice. Okay. Bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so somebody mentioned how the book was for, so... Well, we also need to check out his room, too. But let me show Flora that book real quick, just to see if she says anything. Well, she won't, but... might trigger something.
Have you seen this book before? Do you know who it belongs to?
I really thought she was going to say something there.
She probably has an interest in it. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, Felix, my man. You ever seen this book?
The entire room is made of wood.
Oh, it's not just made of wood. I think it's the actual hull of a ship.
My bad.
Where did you find that?
It was in the library.
Really? How odd.
Ah, come on, man. Give it to me. Also, what about this?
My daughter Fiona and her best friend. They grow up so fast.
Do you know why it's ripped like that?
Ah, yes. I didn't even notice. No idea.
Uh-huh. And what about this?
Oh dear.
Do you know who this is?
Not a clue.
I like how nobody's willing to say who it is. Kind of makes it so funny. It's like, of course the game wants you to figure out who that is on your own. You can take a wild guess, but I don't know. I just find it so funny how nobody like straight up says who it is. Okay, let's examine his room.
You know, I've always wanted one of those.
A mechanical solar system? What would you do with it?
I would look at it.
Obviously.
Wait a minute. Earth in the middle, sun on the outside. How old is this thing?
Okay, rotate the 5 planets, the sun, and the moon around the middle. Okay. So I think we're supposed to look at these lines right here on the inside and supposed to line them up in a specific way. So let me just fiddle with this line. Okay, yeah, it's actually the shadows we're supposed to line up. So we're supposed to get the angle just right on these by manipulating the planets, which is a very interesting puzzle. So how's your guys' day been? My day's been fine. Just worked. Got some decent hours in, which is nice. I'm not big on my job, but I can't really complain too hard, especially considering what's been going on lately. Also just been looking up fan art and all kinds of things. I actually got a little bit of a hobby of reading fan fiction and stuff like that. I actually really love to read. I read a lot of fan fiction nowadays, but I still occasionally pick up quote-unquote actual books and stories and stuff. The last book I probably read was Good Omens by Neil Gaiman. I really like Neil Gaiman's work. The ones that I've read so far. I need to read more. I started American Gods, and so far that's really good. He's a great author. I really like the language that he uses. He has a way of writing and a way of using words that just flow really nicely. Like, his style is really interesting. I've always wanted to study him and Terry Pratchett a little bit more because the way they write, there's something really attractive about it. The way that they can make words and sentences flow. I hope to one day write my own stories and publish them. I've written quite a bit, but I'm not published or anything like that. So one day I hope to rectify that. So studying how to write stories is always a good idea. I got a ton of books on characters and things like that. I even have one book on writing character arcs that's really fascinating that I would recommend to a lot of people. It's so interesting how how stories are such a big part of our lives. Like, everyone goes to see the movies, everyone has read a book at least once in their lives, even if it's not a big pastime. And everyone watches TV shows and stuff like that, but it's interesting how many people, it's not that people don't realize how stories work, of course not, I'm not saying people are idiots or anything like that, but things like tropes and stuff like that, I don't know how many people know exactly what tropes are, or just how many tropes there are in stories, because I remember I mentioned like tropes to my mom and she's like, what's a trope? That kind of took me back because I kind of assumed everyone knew what a trope was. It's just like patterns in stories, really. Patterns and techniques used in stories. The best way that people have put it is it's the tools that writers use to write their stories. If you want to learn more about them, I watch Overly Sarcastic Productions, a YouTube channel that talks about tropes. Look up Trope Talks by them, by Red specifically. They're really great videos, and I always like learning more about how stories work and what kind of tropes mean what. It's actually interesting when you start learning about tropes and realize how many subcategories of tropes there are and all the ways you could potentially use tropes. I remember I showed my boyfriend one of her videos, and he was actually surprised. It was a mentor video. He said he was actually surprised in all the ways you could use a mentor, the classifications, because you got stuff like mentors who are good, mentors who are not so good, sneaky mentors, reluctant mentors, and classic mentors. And knowing which ones to use in stories can really elevate your writing. And the same goes for character arcs. There's the classic negative character arc, which I think most people, pretty self-explanatory what a negative character arc is. And then you have your flat character arc, which I don't know how many people know that one as opposed to the positive and negative arcs. A flat character arc is really interesting because it's basically a character that's not meant to undergo a huge character arc through the story. They can still, absolutely. But the idea is that they help more the world than themselves. Like, they help and change the world around them. So certain flat character arcs will be like, if you watch anime a lot, would be like Goku from Dragon Ball Z, because he doesn't really change. His goals don't really change. But the characters around him do. And usually from some influence of his. Did I actually get this right? This actually kind of looks right. Let me see.
I got it.
Yes, I did. Whoa, I was so busy talking about tropes and stuff that I actually got the puzzle right. I'm sorry, I got right into this.
I'm impressed. Did you hear that? Something unlocked.
There's a little hatch underneath? What's in there?
A bunch of paper. Looks like somebody's research.
Oh, no, this is a good clue. Okay, Golden Beetle. Various research notes and diagrams. Roman numerals. I actually can't read Roman numerals. I have no idea. The Golden Beetle, named for its exoskeleton, comprised of a mineral approximately 90% identical to gold. Has a lifespan of several years. It fends off predators with a loud hiss. Records of over 95 decibels, and by being completely undigestible. This mistid has a somewhat spurious reputation for causing ill fortune to those that see it. Ooh. Interesting, because gold is usually... Well, the color gold is usually referenced to, like, fortune and good luck and things like that. So the fact that it isn't...
There's something about Hawkshaw's handheld microscope.
So the fact that it isn't is interesting.
Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Heck yeah. Let's go. Yo, Hotshot, we got things to ask.
It's a big stone dais.
After I look at the big stone dice.
Biggest one I've ever seen.
Yeah.
First one, too.
Mm-hmm. Hey, you normally see those in gardens, which I guess this is, but still. Yeah, what's up? So, got a bone to pick for you.
This little microscope thing, you said you used it to search the greenhouse.
And this would make perfect sense, if you knew what my client had asked me to find. Of course, I still have no intention of disclosing that information.
You're such a tease, Hawkshaw. Don't worry, we already worked out what you're searching for.
Yep. This is what she's searching for, the gold beetle. Hence why, when we found it, we're like, okay, let's ask Hawkshaw someone.
You're not as hopeless as you look.
Thanks.
So, that's what you were looking for in the greenhouse? This beetle?
Surely even you can understand the logic of it. The greenhouse is home to a great many insects. The gardener could have easily kept the beetle hidden in there.
Well, Fitz said you questioned him, but didn't actually search the greenhouse.
He is not exactly the type to appreciate subtlety. He simply didn't notice that I was using my microscope.
What do you reckon, Grimoire?
I know for a fact you didn't use the microscope in the greenhouse.
Yep. A Hawkshaw doesn't know how to use it. It's broken, it doesn't work. It's not a microscope at all. You don't use it to see small objects, like Fifi said. You use it to see far away. So why would you use a microscope like that for searching for a tiny little insect inside of a big greenhouse?
It's not a microscope at all.
All of a sudden, Detective Grimoire is some kind of expert on microscopes.
Oh, we're not, but we know somebody who is. Okay, Fifi's egg here. Flora's egg. What's that have to do with anything? Oh, gemstones, a handheld microscope, a magnifying glass, telescopic lens. Yeah, the handheld microscope has a telescopic lens. But according to Hawkshaw, uses, is part of, is made entirely of, was created by Fifi to use. According to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens. So Hawkshaw was honest. No, she wasn't. Used a telescopic lens. So Hawkshaw, there's no way Hawkshaw could have used it at all. At least not for what she's saying. So Fifi stole it. So Hawkshaw lied about it, which makes it the murder weapon. And so Hawkshaw should have stole it. I mean, we still haven't even figured out what the murder weapon was exactly, so yeah.
The handheld microscope, according to Fifi, uses a telescopic lens, so Hawkshaw lied about it.
Exactly.
I'm inclined to believe Fifi when it comes to stuff like this.
Hawkshaw, why did you lie about owning a telescope?
When you were a child, what did you aspire to become?
A detective? Naturally.
Emperor of the Galaxy?
I wanted to be an astronomer.
Really?
I harbored a desire to understand the secrets of the wider universe. A fool's errand, to be sure, but a seductive one. At 15, I decided instead to apply my intelligence to the world around me. And so, I became a detective. But the yearning for elusive knowledge is a powerful force. I tried to keep it with me.
Sorry, but we're way off track. What's the deal with the little telescope?
A memento from my childhood. Little more than a toy.
Why did you bring it with you?
When I discovered that it was Professor Pointer who had hired me, I dared to consider it something of a planetary alignment. I had hoped he might sign my telescope. An extremely childish indulgence, I admit.
I never would have guessed.
Hold on. You're admitting you didn't use it in the greenhouse then?
Correct. As it happens, I have no need to search the greenhouse to such a degree. Professor Pointer doesn't consider the gardener a suspect in our theft investigation.
So, who is your suspect?
Things have become complicated. My lead suspect is your murder victim.
Ooh. Theft. Interesting. Also, yeah, interesting that she still carries that around. Okay, so we got Hawkshaw's suspicion. Ready back to the astronomy tower because we still haven't quite searched everything we need to. In there, boom, 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 boom. So here we go.
A picture frame.
With no picture.
Oh, interesting. Couldn't I put Poppy in there?
It's tidier than my desk. Oh, the notebook is untouched. It's completely blank.
So, even the most well-used notebooks start off blank.
True. Another interesting thing is if you go to the library, there are books on astronomy there, but they say they've been untouched, which is weird considering we have somebody who apparently has a passion for the stars.
Every astronomy tower needs a telescope.
I want to try.
Yeah, let's have a look. Alright, what's up?
You can see right into Flora's room.
Not by accident.
I can see Flora, but she's not looking this way. She's looking up. Behind her is the backside of the easel holding Freya's unfinished painting. I can't really see anything behind it. Not from this angle.
Okay, so it's possible if Freya died right behind her easel, even if you were looking through the telescope, you wouldn't have seen exactly who did it. Possibly.
It's that little plant Flora keeps on the window ledge.
Don't you think it would fall off? In the wind.
Maybe it's glued down. Is that a window?
I think it is.
There's a room above her tower.
Is there another room above Flora's room?
We should check that next time we're over there.
Yep. Hey, gramophone, what's up?
I can just about see the gramophone.
And the door?
I can see the doorway. It leads into the hall. The door itself is on the floor, knocked off its hinges.
So notice what's wrong with this picture as a whole. He says he's watching the stars, but the telescope is looking into Flora's room. Why?
Isn't this supposed to be an astronomy telescope?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you need to see the sky for astronomy to work.
I can't move it. I think this is just how it's set up.
Yo, buddy, what's up with your telescope? Anyway.
So, we found some research. What's up with this golden beetle? Is this something you're studying?
I can't help you, I'm afraid. I think it must be something left behind by a previous inhabitant of Tangle Tower. I'm not the first scientist to ever walk these halls, you know.
Well, it wasn't in the halls. It was in your astronomy tower.
Yeah. So what's up? Ah, come on, buddy boy, you're not gonna say? Bum, bum.
That's a very old book, isn't it? Looks like someone could have taken better care of it.
I like the look of a well-read book. Better than one that's never been opened.
Ah, well put. Well now, that is most definitely none of my business. Quite possibly none of yours either.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna make it our business.
Freya was well acquainted with the abstract, I'll say that much.
What does it look like to you?
To me, it's a big, red thing.
What a fascinating interpretation.
He's right, though. It is a big red thing.
Yeah, true. Ah, that's gotta be the most detailed observation we've done in that photo.
Poppy's two closest friends. Freya looks so innocent there.
Yeah. Also, really interesting way of putting that.
I find that painting to be in rather bad taste.
Oh, yeah?
The knife with real blood on it? The whole thing is rather vulgar.
Yeah, I guess
What
so.
a precious photograph. She hasn't changed a bit, has she?
Who?
Oh, if you don't know, perhaps I don't either.
Way to put it. Okay. there's anything else to show.
I haven't seen that tape for a long time. Who broke it?
No idea.
Ah, well, possessions are fleeting, my friends.
Oh, true. Hey, what do you have to say about this?
Pointer property originally, purloined by the fellows. Typical.
Oh, gosh.
There's something about Pointer's astronomy habits. Something suspicious.
Here we go.
Let's ask him about it.
Okay, buddy boy, what's up with your telescope?
So, Professor, what interests you about astronomy exactly?
It's not a matter of being interested. Once you expand your mind to the wider universe, it cannot be unexpanded.
And how long have you been an astronomer?
I really don't like to give exact values unless I'm sure I can quantify them.
Sure.
Convenient.
Why do you ask me these things?
I have a theory about you, Professor.
Oh? Go on.
You're trying to get a planet named after yourself. I mean, to be fair, that would be boss. I wouldn't mind that, just as long as I wasn't in a Junji Ito book. You're not really interested in astronomy at all. You discovered a meteorite is headed straight for Earth.
You're not really interested in astronomy at all.
Yep.
What could you possibly mean by that?
I think you're interested in a slightly different field of research.
Yep. The Golden Beetle. I think you're interested in this, buddy boy. Hence why I was up in your tower.
I don't have time for tiny, insignificant insects. My studies focus only on the inconceivably large and the unimaginably far away.
Right. That's why you like using your telescope so much.
Yes, naturally. My little portal into another world.
Yeah, about that.
The portal into another world is pointing straight at the other tower, buddy boy, not the stars. Okay. Boom. The moon was trying to hide because it was daytime. Sure. Pointer's telescope is pointed directly at the crime scene, which is very suspicious. Okay, Pointer's telescope was trying to hide. Was sneaking up. Was sneaking up on Penny. Was sneaking up on Felix. Pointer's telescope was falling towards the crime scene. Was actually looking at the crime scene because it was daytime. That's all. Because somebody broke it. No. Because Pointer saw a bird. Because he's only interested in that. And not up to the sky.
Pointer's telescope was actually looking at the crime scene and not up at the sky.
First, you accuse me of being a lowly entomologist. Now you're accusing me of, what, spying?
Are you spying?
Why would I need to spy on Flora?
Why? Because you lost your golden beetle specimen, and it's made you paranoid. You think somebody stole it from you.
Might not have been Flora you were spying on. Might have been Freya.
It's a very precious specimen. Incredibly rare. Valuable in ways you could never understand.
There it
Freya
is.
was always sneaking around. Both towers and in the gardens, too. She was definitely up to something.
So, this next question is important. You were looking to Flora's room around the time of the murder. Did you witness the crime, Professor?
No, I didn't. When I looked into the room, Flora was already lying on the floor.
Flora? You mean Freya?
No, Flora. She was lying by the window. I couldn't see Freya at all. It was fairly dark, and the telescope isn't at a very good angle. That's why I decided to head over there myself. I needed to know what was going on.
This changes your statement, doesn't it?
No, everything I told you in my statement was true.
Apart from the reason you left your tower in the first place.
Right.
Freya was definitely up to something.
Something to do with the statue in the garden, I think.
Maybe we should go back and check. And we could have missed something.
Alrighty, let's go to the gardens and investigate. Because apparently Freya was looking for something. Oh. Hey, what's up?
This wasn't here before.
It's also very creepy.
What is it?
It's
Pick
a
it up.
little wooden toy. Looks kind of like a crab.
There's a note stuck to the back.
What does it say? Grimoire?
This is my new friend. He likes music. Simple melodies will move his soul. Best of luck to you two. Freya. A wooden toy of some kind, a layer of dark ink lies beneath the glass sheet. So you'll notice it's making shapes. The shapes will correlate to to the statue in the garden. Now, he says he likes music, simple melodies move his soul. We need to take this to certain locations and play certain tunes. You'll see once I do it.
What do you think? Is it really from her?
How can it be?
Why don't we check the handwriting with Freya's diary?
Good idea. Hold on.
Well,
It's a perfect match.
well, it's confirmed. We have a ghost helping us.
Let's keep this to ourselves for now.
What about the little wooden toy thingy?
Maybe we can put it to some kind of use.
Alrighty. Unfinished business. Now we're on to the next little section. Yeah, creepy, right? I kind of like little touches like that. It leaves a very uncertain atmosphere, but it's an interesting one. Okay, so let's see. Yep. Bird song. Ready?
What are they?
Wind chimes. Silent wooden wind chimes.
Okay, not those. The doorbell at the front played a little melody too. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Anywhere where music was rather prominent. Doorbell. Ready. And Poppy's. I remember when we first got this little wooden chime, we noticed like it was making like little pictures, the little wooden toy. And so me and my friends stared at it for like a long time, just trying to see what pictures we can make of it and see if we can't like solve the statue in the garden puzzle. And then I finally realized, oh wait, we need to do this. It makes it a lot more simple. We need you to play something. Bum.
Yeah, it's mine.
Can you play the tune for us?
Can you play the tune for us?
Sure. It's literally 8 notes. I have it memorized.
Ready? Yep. That did it. Okay, so the last tune we're gonna need on the gramophone, but I think we need to find a specific item before that. So let's go back to Flora's tower because we noticed that room with the transfer pointer's telescope. So let's go back up and see what this room's all about. The attic. The atmosphere in this room is always yeah.
It's a statue of a wolf, standing up straight, like a man.
You know, there's a name for that.
I know.
It's not quite as dusty as everything else up here.
That brings very little comfort, thank you.
Also, it's not a statue. It's stuffed.
Even worse.
Where's that light coming from?
Well, it's just daylight, I think. There's a decent gap between those floorboards.
Let's look. Oh, wow. Do you recognize this?
Is that what I think it is?
Yep. That is definitely the crime
Is
scene.
that what I think it is?
Yep. You can see right into the crime scene from the attic, right where Freya would have been standing. Interesting, right?
Just dusty junk.
Right, just dusty junk.
Sally, you don't have a dust allergy, do you?
No. Do you?
Let me put it this way.
Okay. Oh, yep, I think we're supposed to notice this here.
What is that?
Not sure. Some kind of reel?
Looks like it might attach to something.
Okay, real thingy. You can tell Grimoire is writing these. A brass reel with a screw at the top. Coiled around the reel is a length of fine red rope. Alrighty, interesting.
Someone painted out the window.
Do you think it was done recently?
No idea. Either way, it's pretty suspicious.
Almost as if they didn't want anyone to know or see them up here, like Pointer's telescope.
What's in that little box? I bet it's bones. A skull, at least.
Heck yeah.
You know, maybe I won't open it.
Okay, I'm wondering if there's anything else we need to see.
Nothing catching my interest.
I'm sorry, is this spooky attic boring you?
Kinda.
I'd want Sally if I went to like a haunted location or something like this. Okay. I'm trying to make sure I got everything up here.
Nothing catching my interest.
I'm sorry, is this...
Kinda.
Okay. Okay, so I think we got everything. For now. Yeah, that's really interesting. I have ideas of what to do, it's just implementing them. And I'm wondering who exactly to go to. Hey Fifi, what's up? Oh hey, what's with this beetle?
Now this is interesting. Where did you find it?
In the astronomy tower.
And yet, it does not concern the field of astronomy.
Nope.
In fact, you could even say that entomology is the exact opposite of astronomy.
Yeah, you could.
I would not say that, however.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No, it would be quite naive. To study science in any field is to study the connections between all matter in the universe, living or inanimate.
I'm so sorry, I was drinking something, got to the end of it, if you heard that. What about this book?
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time.
So who put it in here? What about
The
this gramophone?
gramophone belongs to Poppy, but I believe she gave it to my mother, and my mother often loaned it to Freya. Or maybe it is the other way around.
When did it get cracked?
I cannot pinpoint it exactly. All I know is that it must have happened sometime in the last 2 days.
Huh, interesting. You know what this connects with?
Is this yours, Fifi?
I do not recognize it. And besides, I would have no use for such a thing. Perhaps it could be used to hang wet laundry?
Was that a joke?
Yes.
I liked it. Good for you, Fifi.
What's wrong?
Earmuffs do not go on statues.
That's amusing.
There's something about the image of Flora in the painting. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Let's go. Flora, we need to ask you a quick question. Also, did I check out this little succulent here?
A little pot plant, balanced on the window ledge.
It's the only plant in the entire room.
Okay. Hey Flora, what's up?
So, this painting, specifically that knife in Flora's hand.
Yeah, it's creepy.
Quote unquote.
But we didn't find a knife anywhere in the room. So, what's going on?
The knife is still in this room. The knife was taken by the murder. No, it's actually not a knife.
It's not a knife. We need a clue to compare with the painting. Something to explain what that knife shape actually is.
The only reason why it looks like a knife is A, because of the blood, so you automatically make that connection. And B, because the painting is technically unfinished. So any details that Freya was going to add,
Let's
unfortunately,
take a closer look at this.
didn't get added. So, yeah. What it actually is a feather. The painted knife. Feather. The painted knife was created by a feather, which doesn't exist. Was stolen by, is made of, is actually just a feather, which doesn't exist. From a golden insect, nope. From a swamp monster. Secret of the Swamp reference. From an ink dip bird.
The painted knife is actually just a feather from an ink dip bird.
It's definitely the right shape, but the book's not in color. The thing Flora's holding in the painting is red and white, specifically. Is there anything to suggest that the ink dip bird is red and white too?
I think there is. Once I figure out what it is. They don't let you do these things unless you got everything, so we have everything. Oh, wait, the paint bottle. There it goes. Okay. I had to look at that closely.
This little thing? I don't understand why Felix would make a model of this bird as part of a gift for Flora. And come to think of it, why would Flora be holding a feather in the painting anyway?
Exactly. That's pretty good. The ink dip bird. Betrayed Flora, so she ate it. Attacked Flora, so she destroyed it. Was Flora's pet, so she kept a single feather as evidence of a crime. The ink dip bird attacked Flora to kept the single feather as evidence of a crime. To destroy later, to show her friends, to remember it by. Oh yes, all for friends. Fifi.
The ink dip bird was Flora's pet, so she kept a single feather to remember it by.
She kept the bird as a pet. And it died?
Maybe it flew away.
Flora spends all her time staring out the window.
Either way, she kept the feather. I think it was pretty important to her.
All right. So she was holding the feather while Freya was painting her. But where is it now? You'd think she'd keep it somewhere close by.
Yeah, I think she does. Normally. This is where Flora usually keeps her feather.
She usually keeps it in the egg. But for one reason or another, it's now gone.
But we opened it. It's empty.
Mm-hmm. Completely empty. Flora? She's pointing at something in the corner of the room.
It's just a pile of books. They're not... Wait, there's something tucked inside this one.
Flora's drawings of Flora and a small bird. There's a handwritten message on the back. These are for you. Love, Freya. Which is one of the reasons why Flora really loved Freya. so much and why they were so close. Flora looks so nice in these photos. Looks happy.
Let's go over what we know about the crime scene.
Yep. Because we just had some massive breakthroughs just now. The crime scene.
We know a little more about the crime scene now. So, what do you think? Was Freya stabbed by her own painting?
Okay. The painted inked up to prove the existence of magic. Blood from the paint pot. And blah, 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 blah. So let's see what exactly they want from us. Was Freya stabbed by the painting? Nope. Was used to paint the red tip of. Was used to paint over. Was used to hide. Was designed to match. Blah, blah, blah. To hide the evidence. To distract Freya. So it could stab Freya. To resemble a bloody knife. The painted ink dip feather. Let's see. Let me see. Was used to paint over. Was used to hide. Was just designed to match. Let's replace bit. Was used to paint over. Was used to hide. Resemble a bloody knife. To prove the existence of magic knife. To hide the evidence. To distract Freya, so it could stab Freya. To resemble a bloody knife. Was designed to match. I kind of know what they want from us. It's just getting there. Was replaced by. Used to paint. Blood from the paint pot. Was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather. To resemble a bloody knife, I think.
Blood from the paint pot
Yep.
was used to paint the red tip of the painted ink dip feather to resemble a bloody knife.
I think you're right. Can't decide if I'm disappointed or relieved.
I have a question. Why?
Either it's a very strange coincidence, or somebody set it up.
Somebody deliberately put blood in the paint pot and hid that feather after the crime. Why? To distract us?
Possibly.
Well, it worked.
Possibly.
Flora's the only person who could have hidden the feather, unless someone took it from her.
Let's go over what we do know. The door was locked the whole time. It stayed locked until Fitz kicked it down. Normally, it can only be opened from the inside. Pointer said he couldn't see Freya from his telescope, but he did see Flora lying by the window.
So whatever got Freya got Flora too?
Except Flora survived. She didn't get a stab wound like Freya did.
Hold on. If there was no knife, then what did stab Freya?
It could be anything. It might not even be important.
How is it not important?
Right now, I'm less interested in the what, and more interested in the how.
Right.
The angle of Freya's wound suggests she was stabbed at a perfect right angle. That is, from directly in front of her. But she was standing right up by the canvas.
Somehow, Freya ended up lying on her back, still perfectly in line with the painting.
Maybe something went through it.
Through the painting? Wouldn't that leave a hole?
Okay, well, how about this? How do we know Freya was stabbed before she fell over? Maybe her being stabbed and her falling over are completely unrelated.
Yeah, because this is a locked room murder. And on top of that, it's a locked room murder where even if somebody walked in and stabbed Freya, it wouldn't have been possible without destroying the painting. So how did somebody manage to kill Freya, but leave the painting intact? As well as not being spotted by Flora. Or anybody, really. Somebody should have seen something. But it almost seems as if nobody has. Why? Okay. Okay, right. I wanted to go back to the garden in between these two rooms.
It's a rose bush, growing on a little patch of bluish soil. Apart from a couple of loose petals on one side, the whole thing looks very well cared for.
The roses are bright red, too.
Now, aren't roses normally that color?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and they match up with what we found. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Was there anything else I needed from this location? I don't think there was. There's nothing I'm noticing. I got the feathers and everything. Hey, Fifi. Did I show Fifi the crumple up? No? Let me see.
Who is this her to whom the message refers?
Well, I don't know exactly.
Then how can I meaningfully evaluate this object? Next! Freya drew these,
Yeah, I think so. There's a note on the back.
but she never showed them to me.
Well, I think it was a gift for your mother, like a private thing between Freya and Flora.
I must have heard of it. Okay, let me show this to Felix. Basically anything that relates to people. Gotta try everything at least once in games like these. Also, did I ask you about... I'm asking you about a lot of people.
My daughter Fiona, our little burgeoning genius. You've met her?
We did. She's going by Fifi these days.
So I've heard. I asked her some weeks ago, what's wrong with your real name? She told me, get this, she wanted a name with an even number of syllables. She makes up the strangest things when she's under pressure.
What makes you think she made that up?
I happen to know the real reason she prefers Fifi over Fiona.
Oh, yeah?
It's what Freya called her.
That would make a lot of sense. I think Fifi's a fine name, too. There's nothing wrong with Fifi. Or Fiona. I think they're both nice names.
Fitz? I don't trust him. He's slippery. Never commits to anything. Brain like an onion.
An onion?
Did you two have an argument?
No, but my daughter doesn't like him at all. And I trust Fiona's judgment entirely. She's a very vigilant young woman.
How do I get the feeling that Fitz is almost like an outsider in his own family? That's really sad.
Percival Pointer. Good old... So, what do you reckon? Is he the murderer?
I don't know, maybe. We still need...
That is not information we're willing to share at this time.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on him. Holds on to a lot of bitterness, does old Pointer. Just because he's always struggled to support his family. Slightly pathetic, really.
And how long have you known him?
Over 35 years.
Childhood friends? Rivals?
Don't know if I'd do him the honor of considering him my rival.
Wow. To hate a person for 35 years, that would be exhausting. I can't stand people that I don't like for, even 10 minutes. 35 years. God. Well, I guess they had to put up with each other, technically.
Penelope seems to have really settled into a groove. She struggled a bit when she was younger. Always a little estranged.
How come?
Well, she was mostly raised by her uncle, and he really only makes time for his own daughter. Now, of course, she's bringing the two families together through her marriage. It's a nice gesture, heartfelt, but futile.
Oh, boy. These two families.
Poppy's a good friend to my daughter. Always has been. I think they get on well because they're so... different.
Different, like how?
Poppy is, she's quite introspective, good with feelings. Fiona, not so much.
Yeah.
Still, Poppy always seems to be sulking about something.
The heavy, heavy price of emotional intelligence.
Yep, I feel it. Okay, buddy boy. What do you have to say about these?
These drawings are quite precious. I'm surprised Flora let you see them.
What happened to the bird? Did it die?
I don't know. Seems likely, though, doesn't it?
Uh-huh. That's so sad, like, if the bird really did die, because it hurts to lose a pet, especially when if you consider them to be, like, almost a member of the family, like, yeah. And I'm sure everyone remembers, like, when one of their pets unfortunately passed away.
Goodness me!
Just wanted to see what he'd say.
What's this all about? Some kind of rare jewel?
I'm pretty sure the research is about a real insect.
If it's made of gold, then it's made of gold.
You know nothing about this? Interesting. Okay. Bum, 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 bum.
That looks like it might belong to Poppy.
Interesting. Alrighty. Thanks for the insight, buddy boy. Hey, Poppy. Haven't talked to you in a hot minute. Music always gets to me.
How sweet.
I know, right?
You get some weird insects around here, but I've never seen one like that.
I'm not sure anyone has.
Freya might have. She used to keep beetles in a box in her room.
Why?
For fun, obviously.
And she was interested in it. Bum, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, buddy. So, have you ever seen this beetle before?
Penelope's 3 favorite birds.
Oops,
She's
my
very
bad.
protective.
My bad. I didn't mean to hit that. Didn't mean to tap that.
I've seen beetles with brightly colored shells, metallic shells even. They're relatively common, especially around here. There's a difference between that and actual gold.
It can't be actual gold. Gold is just inside the earth or whatever. You can't make it. It's called alchemy. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
Did Freya draw these?
Yeah. There's a note on the back, too.
She was even closer to Flora than I realized.
Aw. It's almost like the more you learn, the sadder this whole case gets. What's the action?
Where did you find this?
Do you have any theories about where this might have been?
Or who might have had it.
I have several theories, but they are my theories, and I'm not going to share them.
Why does that sound so childish? They are my theories. I ain't sharing.
Does Flora still own that bird? Do you know?
Don't think so. The drawings are from a few years ago.
I see.
No,
These people really are ridiculous, aren't they?
I feel you. Alrighty, I didn't yield too much. I want to spill Penny's secret. Like, I know what her secret is, I just gotta figure out a way to get her to spill it.
Not a fan of insects myself. Whose research is this?
We were hoping you might know.
No, can't say I... Freya, perhaps. I know she was always very fond of grubby little things like this.
Noted.
Yep. That's what everyone says.
It's that bird. But these must have been drawn at least a year ago. Oh, how sad.
Yeah, I feel you.
Is that for sewing?
Maybe?
We have no idea.
Yep. Oh, wait, actually, I forgot. I'm an idiot. I was... Well, maybe I'm not... Anyway, gramophone. Let's see. Try it. Play. Oh, it's a nice little tune. We've heard that tune.
It's piano music.
Yep. On the label, it's a recording of piano music. It plays for a short time before stopping. And we know who plays the piano,
There's
don't we?
something about that pink cassette tape. Something suspicious.
Let's ask Poppy about it.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that. There's another tape we need to get, that's what I was thinking. Anyway, Poppy, spill it.
I need to confirm something with you, Poppy.
Confirm away.
What can you tell us about this cassette tape? Is it yours?
It belongs to Freya. She liked to have music playing while she was painting, you know.
And do you know what kind of music is on this tape?
No idea. Acid jazz?
It's piano music. Sounds an awful lot like your music, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Classic jazz.
Sure it doesn't belong to you?
Why are we even talking about this? Cassette tapes have been redundant for a good few years now.
The tape was found at the crime scene. It was in the gramophone.
It's not mine. I'd never own anything like that.
Why not?
Not my color.
Not now. You used to like these colors. Somebody changed the color today. Somebody gave it to you as a gift. Nope. You used to like these colors a lot. Pastel pink.
You used to like these colors.
Ridiculous.
We need a clue to compare with the cassette tape. Something that proves Poppy used to like these colors.
Yep. Which would be this photo.
Let's take a closer look at this.
Pink cassette tape. It's an older version of the pink cassette player. Let me see. Found in the garden matches. Nope. Was replaced by. Found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Phoebe in this old photo. Found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette tape found at the crime scene. That was found in Freya's room. Nope. Used by Poppy in this old photo. Okay, there it is.
The pink cassette tape found at the crime scene matches the pink cassette player used by Poppy in this old photo.
Yep.
That is not me.
Yeah, it is. I'll prove it.
Yep. The rip will match perfectly. There we go.
You look a little different, but Fifi and Freya are pretty recognizable. It's clearly a photo of you with your two best friends. Why'd you tear it up and then hide it?
I think the answer is pretty straightforward.
Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore. Poppy hates Fifi and Freya now. The photo proves Poppy is the murderer. Nope. Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore. I don't think she even wants to remember how she looked back then.
Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore.
That's it. Makes this whole thing seem kind of irrelevant.
Maybe. It depends on the reason.
reason she doesn't want to look like that anymore?
The passage of time is a powerful thing.
Hold on. This means that pink cassette tape does belong to you, Poppy.
It used to. I recorded some piano music onto it and gave it to Freya as a gift. Years ago.
Freya could have easily been listening to this tape at the exact moment she was killed. There's gotta be a connection between the tape, the gramophone, and the murder.
There's one other thing I want to know. How did it get that crack down the middle?
I have no idea.
Interesting, right? So the reasons why Poppy doesn't want to look like that anymore, it's never 100% like stated outright why she doesn't want to look like that anymore, but you can make some sort of connections. Again, those will become a bit more clear a little bit later, so yeah. I don't want to say anything right anymore because that might be a bit of a spoiler. Okay, try. Because we still need, actually we don't. Because I think we're meant to find another tape. And I think that might actually be what we need. Okay. Well, we got Poppy's thing. Did I finish looking at his astronomy place? I might not have.
A Spyglass to the Stars, volumes 1 to 12.
They're in very good condition.
Yep. Because as we established, he's not actually astronomer.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
Gizmos and gadgets.
Trinkets.
They're clearly gizmos.
Okay.
A bell jar. It's empty.
What do people normally keep in bell jars?
Other than bells, you mean?
A single red rose. That's what they normally keep in there. Okay, so I might have gone done exploring everything here.
Haven't seen this one in a while. He lives in the music room, doesn't he?
Currently.
If I'm not mistaken, that little red and white one is supposed to be a bird of some kind. I'm sure I've read about this creature somewhere. Don't remember anything about him playing the harp, though.
Artistic interpretation.
Every astronomy tower needs a
I
telescope.
want to try.
Nope. We already looked.
Curious creature, isn't it? Some sort of amphibious bipedal fishman.
Playing a trumpet.
Playing a trumpet, yes.
Okay.
I've seen those earmuffs before. They're the ones Fitz always wears when he's out the front gardening.
Always wears.
Whenever I've seen him, yes. Yes, very nice. Where is that bird of Flora's? It's been a while since I've seen it.
Nobody knows, which makes it all the more sadder.
What's this? Is it a clue?
We don't actually know. But Grimoire picked it up, so now he has to pretend it is.
That's how it works.
Oh, that's so funny.
What's this?
It looks like it might be a telescope. Thought you might know something about it.
Well, it certainly is a telescope. It has a part there to screw onto a tripod, you see. It's rather small, though. I'm not sure you could see many stars with it.
No, probably not.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you found a murder weapon?
Steady on. It's just a gardening trowel.
Looks like a weapon to me.
Sure it does, baby. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Now the tricky thing is like we're knowing like what to show people. Because we still okay, so we got Felix, we got Fifi, we got Poppy, we got Flora, we got Hawkshot, we just need Fitz and Poppy, and so we need to figure out what to show them or other people in order to get them to start talking. Start talking to me, damn it. Or did we get Fitz already? Yeah, we already got Fitz. Okay, so it's just Poppy. Not Poppy, but Penelope. But Penny. Bah, you know what I mean.
I don't know what that is.
Me
All right.
neither.
Me 3. Oh, sorry.
That's
I
nothing to
thought
be
you
proud
said
of.
me too.
Okay. Sorry, this isn't so riveting. I'm just trying to remember what to do. Oh, that's why we have places. At least, like, the dialogue's nice. At least the dialogue.
Penny's books. Mostly novels.
Looks like nature invited itself in. Rude.
Now the who it's referring to. I know what. Just need some evidence though.
Ah, a little water feature.
It's making me sleepy.
Wonder how it's hooked up.
Alright.
More egg statues.
I don't get it. Why eggs?
Well, either they have some special significance, or the sculptor was just really lazy.
What do you mean?
An egg has got to be the easiest shape to make.
True.
Giant stone frog? Love it.
Ah, he's got his tongue out like he's catching snowflakes.
Except those aren't snowflakes. They're feathers.
None of the feathers are from the inked bird. Okay, we need to figure out something out with those feathers. Okay, so I should go around asking people about the feathers. Because I think that's how we get it. Okay. It's probably super obvious and I've just been an idiot this entire time. Okay. So I'll just go around asking everyone about the feathers if I haven't already shown them to them. Okay, I already asked you about the feathers. And what about you, 50 boy? What else you? I've already asked you. There's some other piece of information that I need about these feathers that I haven't gotten yet. Maybe I'm supposed to go to the library and find a book. Maybe that's it too. Yeah, you got anything to say?
Do you also have a pile of leaves as a clue?
Not yet. Did you see some suspicious leaves?
Did you see some suspicious leaves? Maybe in the next game. Oh, I didn't mean to hit that. Didn't mean to smack that. Hold on.
it's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You're supposed to say, too quiet?
It's not. It's an appropriate amount of quiet.
And it's full of the same weird water that was in the lake.
Any fish in there?
Not a single one. Although there is something in there.
It's a cassette tape. Or
Knew it.
used to be.
Okay, that's good. Okay, the cassette tape has been damaged by water. The ink on the label is blurred and illegible. Okay, so I'm going to hold on to this. I'm not going to use it quite yet. We know where to use it. There's just something else I need to do. One last thing, and then we can start really wrapping things up. Okay. Hey, books on birds.
Books about birds.
The shelves are about half empty.
Oh, so you're the shelves are half empty kind of person.
You knew this already.
Yeah, we already did. Okay. No, we already showed you the feathers.
It's musty in here.
What exactly does that mean? What is must?
Must. You ask such stupid questions.
Nice.
Touche.
It's an illustrated book about birds.
And it's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or it was left open for us to find.
Ever so slightly unnerving.
I know, right? Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Can we show the feathers to Professor Pointer? If not, I'll go back to the aviary and maybe just examine the birds. Maybe that's why I'm missing. Maybe I just need to examine the damn birds.
I think you may wish to adjust your threshold of what you consider to be a clue.
Scathing. I've been hilarious. Okay.
An especially fancy cage.
And it's home to 3 especially fancy birds.
Penny does not come out of the cage. Penny also showing the birds. We need to make a connection between the feathers and the birds. It's taking some time. Because hers is the last secret. Hers is just the last secret. Okay.
That's rather a small cage for 3 birds, isn't it? But then, aren't we all trapped in a cage?
We're all just rats trapped in a cage. Okay, it's not very helpful.
What kind of flower is that?
We're not sure. I think it might be the only one of its kind.
Primrose would know. My wife was a floriculturalist. Best in the field. That's a flower joke, but she was.
Interesting.
Interesting. So she was really interested in flowers. Interesting. So I think we nearly got all the clues and everything else.
I am scared of birds.
Why?
It is an irrational fear. I have no suitable explanation.
Oh.
Did you watch Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds and how you got up here? That might be one reason.
3 birds, 1 cage. What makes them worth keeping cooped up, I wonder? Would they not be happier flying free?
But then they might fly away from Tangle Tower entirely.
I wonder if they would.
Sure, a lot of people would, actually. Also, did I click on this bench?
There's a metal plaque on the bench.
Is there a message engraved on it?
I think there was at one point, but someone scratched it off.
Weird. I know what I got to do. It's just, I don't know how to go about it. This sucks. Worst case scenario, I'll look up a walkthrough. I don't want to, but if I need to, just to get the ball rolling on this.
Does this count as being outdoors?
Yeah. No. Doesn't matter. More handwritten sheet music. It's open.
Go outside.
It's so relaxing. I might just stay here.
Oh, shall I go finish the investigation on my own?
That'd be great.
Yeah, I feel you.
Careful, we're pretty high up.
Yeah, we're on a roof.
A little pond.
It looks really, really deep. For some reason. See those metal bars around the edges too?
Oh yeah. What do you suppose they're for?
Nothing anymore. Looks like somebody broke them and then never bothered to fix it.
Yep. Okay. Tangle Tower. Bum, 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 ba, 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 ba. Next. Da, da, da. Bum, bum, ba, ba, da, ba, ba. Ba, 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 da, ba, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 bum, bum. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Do, 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 do. I hope you're enjoying the very nice atmosphere. Oh, okay. I think I know what I'm missing now. I suck.
Do you think this was always supposed to be a bedroom?
I don't know. It is kind of a weird shape.
No windows either.
This feels very
Even though
claustrophobic.
we're halfway up a tower, someone's been tracking in mud from outside.
That would probably be Freya.
A pillow with a paw print pattern.
It's a cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't illustrate.
A pop print pattern.
That's weird.
What did you find in the drawers?
Nothing. They're completely empty.
Almost like somebody got them.
It's a fish, I think?
I think it looks more like a whale.
Fine, it's a whale.
Could also be a shark.
Drawings, taped up on the wall.
What's that one on the left?
Looks like two people standing together in a garden. One of them's holding a red rose.
Freya's drawings are drawing of Poppy and Fritz standing up in the garden. Fritz is holding a red rose, a drawing of Fifi, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw. Interesting.
There's something about those petals we found in Penny's room. Something suspicious.
Let's ask her about it.
Finally. Here we go. I totally missed those. I am so sorry for that. I would have gotten it if it wasn't for that. Jeez.
So, yeah, we found this.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nothing.
You wrote, "Now I'll get her," on a piece of paper and hid it in your room.
Doesn't
That's
sound like
not
nothing.
nothing.
Yep.
Actually, it's not the message I wanted to ask about. It's those red flower petals.
The petals.
Yeah. They're from red tulips, they're from red roses. Which is a little weird considering everything in Tangle Tower is mutated.
They're from red roses. And there's only one place in Tangle Tower with red roses.
Yep.
We need a clue. Something that shows the roses. And who they belong to.
Yep. Freya's drawings. And this.
It's a drawing of Fitz and Poppy in the rooftop garden. See what Fitz is holding?
I can't imagine what you're getting at, but it doesn't matter. I couldn't have taken anything from the rooftop garden. It's only accessible from Fitz's room or Poppy's room. How could I have taken something from a garden to which I have no access?
Pretty simple.
Is it really only accessible from those two bedrooms?
For most people, it would be. But don't forget, Penny's the resident ornithologist.
My
Yep.
dears, what are you accusing me of?
Okay. Stolen from Freya and Fritz, huh? Was used to kill. Your birds were used to kill Freya. Was used to spy on. One of Penny's birds was used to spy on Poppy and Fritz because they were planning a murder. And steal evidence from them and distract them, but it didn't work. And steal money for them. She needs the money because they were planning a murder. Spy on. Well, I think that's what it was.
One of Penny's birds
There we go.
was used to spy on Poppy and Fitz and steal evidence from them. We know those two have been spending time together in the rooftop garden. I'm guessing you got paranoid. Wanted to know what they were up to.
I'm just not the jealous type. I
Really?
would never suspect Fitz of anything like that. Besides, Tabitha hardly ever leaves her cage. She's certainly never flown up to the rooftop garden.
Why
We
did
need
you
a clue to
call
compare with
her?
Penny's birds. Something to prove one of them has been in the rooftop garden.
This.
Let's take a closer look at these.
The feathers was used to kill. This dark purple feather. This yellow feather. matches Penny's yellow bird. Was eaten by, was deliberately dropped, nope, was stolen from, was left behind by Penny's yellow bird after I killed Freya. When it visited the rooftop garden.
This yellow feather was left behind by Penny's yellow bird when it visited the rooftop garden.
I can't stand it! Knowing the two of them are hidden away up there in their private little garden. I couldn't risk spying on them myself, so I asked dear Tabitha to do it for me. I knew she'd be able to bring me back some evidence.
Sorry, Penny, but are you not overreacting a little?
You don't understand. Fitz is slipping away from me. He's so quiet with me these days, but being with Poppy seems to bring him out of his shell. I don't know what he sees in her miserable little... I apologize. This really isn't your burden to bear.
Yep. So Penny thinks they got a thing going on. Okay, so I think we got everyone's suspicions. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got everyone's suspicions. Okay, so that's basically what we needed to accomplish, and we've already figured out the attic. Now we are going to get into more nitty-gritty. We can start solving this mystery now. But first, remember that cassette tape that we found in the front? It's time to see what is on there. Let's try it. If it still works.
Weird.
Is this someone humming? Creepy, ain't it?
It's someone humming a tune.
And that completes it.
That's all 4 melodies, I think.
So, what do we do with them?
Should we go back to the gardens again?
Yep. Alrighty. Let's solve this.
Let's try this again.
You know, I think we might be able to solve this now.
Yep. Some of these shapes almost remind me of Pokemon shapes. Wonder if anybody else sees that. I think that one's actually over here. Yep. There we go. That should have it.
That's gotta be right.
Nothing. Maybe it's broken.
Wait. Do you hear that?
Yep, it's a secret passage.
Are we gonna go in?
Yeah. But there's a couple of things I want to do first.
Okay, collect all clues. Okay, so we're still missing at least one clue from this whole thing. But yeah. So you need to get these all done before you go in. It's very important. You could probably still go in even if you don't have this, but that's the reason why I wanted to get Penny's suspicion out of the way before we do this. Okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure. Because we're missing just one more piece of something. So we're missing just one last thing. What are we missing? Oh, yeah, I see what we're missing now. Okay, we missed something at the crime scene. That's the reason why. Sorry, I was looking at another walkthrough. I'm sorry. I normally don't look at walkthroughs and stuff like this, but sometimes like little details can slip by. Especially this one. I didn't want to run around all this just looking for that one last little shred of clue. But now we should have everything.
Supposedly, Freya was working on the painting when she was killed. Looks like she was still holding her paintbrush and palette when she fell.
Didn't even get a chance to clean her brush.
Oh boy. Her brush of blood. The palette has a variety of paints loaded onto it. The largest is a blob of black in the middle. The paintbrush is still covered in dry red paint.
Are we done?
For now. It's about time we found out what's beneath the garden.
Yep, we got everything now. Now it's time to figure out what exactly is going on here.
Where do you think it goes?
Down.
Let's go. And before we do that, I'm going to take a good 5-minute break. We'll be right back and we will see what is beneath the garden. Season? Alrighty, I'll roughly say it's been about 5 minutes, so let's go. Especially since you're probably as itching to find out what's going on as I am. Let's find out what's underneath. Hey, Sally. What do you think of this place? Cool, right?
What's in there?
Beetles.
9 beetles. All different, all dead.
Oh boy.
Poor little guys.
There's a bunch of notes written all around them. It's mostly numbers. No idea what they mean.
Huh. Weird.
It's a little diagram of a beetle, with some incomprehensible notes scribbled next to it.
That's weird.
This whole
What?
thing's weird.
It looks really normal compared to the beetles behind the glass.
True. I'm not a beetle expert, but these definitely look weird.
A candle, perched on a barrel.
Very medieval.
I was thinking pirates.
Medieval pirates.
It works.
It looks like they're being boiled, but the liquid is ice cold.
Weird.
A cracked glass tank with 9 little rooms. Each one has 1 or 2 insects inside.
Okay.
I can't tell if they're still alive.
I like that you called them rooms.
Is that like a little insect thing? Thingamajiggy? Thingamabob?
Is it locked?
Seems likely, doesn't it? Weird looking safe.
Sorry.
I'm pretty sure the latches can slide into the middle.
Okay, you're supposed to basically bridge the gap between these two. I hate this puzzle. I remember spending so long on this. Then I just got one of my friends to do it, so... yeah. Puzzles like these get on my nerves. Okay, so... okay, let's try it like this. And then try this one. We gotta make a little path after all. Let's talk about tropes earlier. You guys know what's some of your favorite tropes? Some people that I've talked to really like the found family trope, where it's pretty self-explanatory. Somebody who doesn't have a family gets an unlikely family. That kind of thing. It's a good trope. I particularly like that one myself. I've been reading this manga called Spy X Family that's a lot like that trope. And it's a good manga. I recommend it. If you haven't already read it. I've been getting into like a little bit more domestic stories like that. Just lighthearted comedy stories is nice, especially around this time. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum bum. Yeah, some of my favorite tropes. I have a bit of a guilty pleasure trope where I like when the main character goes like temporarily evil or has some evil force controlling them. I don't know why, I just really like seeing characters be really so different. Sorry, I'm really concentrating on this puzzle. I can understand why some people don't really like that trope, especially if it's like played up a lot though, or it doesn't wind up being that interesting. Plus, it can also be so jarring to see a character, especially like characters that are always good suddenly do something really bad, even if they're not in full control of themselves. I guess another version of that would be like the evil twin trope, which it's an interesting trope. I kind of like it. Okay. Do I got this?
I got it.
Oh, thank goodness. Can you see me, Constance? It's Eli. Hey, Eli, what's up? Oh, wow, you're coming into the tail end of this. Hey, what's up? I didn't mention this on Twitter because I'm kind of doing this personal stream of Tangle Tower. Yeah, have you been here the entire time?
I'm impressed. Anything inside?
Yeah, more research.
Feel free to comment, Eli, even though I'm playing the game. I'm just kind of continuing, but yeah, feel free to chat. Okay, secret research. A folder containing research notes and diagrams. Our unique flora and fauna is the byproduct of a number of as yet unidentified chemicals. These chemicals are continually present in the water, forming clouds and filling the lake. This causes a variety of mutation in plants and animals. Smaller creatures such as arachnids, insects, mollusks, amphibians, and crustaceans are the most affected. However, the chemicals may travel up the food chain and cause mutations in birds and reptiles. As far as we know, mammals remain completely unaffected. Okay, so secret research was being conducted. Also, yeah, I kind of used a walkthrough for that one. I'm sorry, I just hate that puzzle so much, and I get stuck on it for such a long time. But that's gonna be the last time I use that. I'm sorry. It's just the last bit of Tangle Tower. Yeah.
Whose research is this?
I don't know, let's talk about that. Secret laboratory.
This is some seriously in-depth research.
That's
Yeah.
impressive, but it's incomplete. There's a section missing.
A section is interesting. I think we might know what that section is, don't we? Okay, golden beetle. Alrighty.
So, this is Pointer's secret lab.
Definitely seems like he's the one using it.
I guess not a lot of people know about the secret entrance.
Right. But if Pointer's the only one who comes down here, why would he need to lock his research in a safe? Who is he hiding it from?
He's just paranoid, especially about his golden beetle.
What do you think he's trying to do exactly?
What is he trying to do? Let's see. Bum 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 bum. Locked up. Has been planning to kill. Pointer has been planning to kill Freya in the greenhouse. Was hiding from. Has been trying to breed. Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle in the laboratory. At least I think that's the conclusion we're meant to come to. The lake water. A butterfly. Like how it has these random stuff. In Flora's Tower. Oh god. In the underground laboratory.
Pointer has been trying to breed the golden beetle in the underground laboratory.
Laboratory.
Why? Because it's rare?
Because it's gold?
Is that it?
I think so. I don't think he cares about entomology any more than he cares about astronomy. He just wants to get one over on Felix. If he can breed his own gold, suddenly Poppy's inheritance is looking pretty,
Infinite. Might explain why he was so worried about losing the beetle. Maybe somebody did steal it.
Might have been Freya after all. We know she was trying to get through the secret door in the garden.
She might not have known what was down here, though. Maybe she was just curious.
Curious, sure, but not naive. I reckon she knew what was going on.
I think we're still missing the bigger picture. There's no way this is all just about a beetle. We're done.
Ready to go down? Again?
Let's go. Because there's another floor, baby. Yeah, so Pointer was trying to breed the golden beetle in order to basically up his wealth, because they mentioned like he was struggling, he didn't have a lot of money, and that's probably one of the reasons why he doesn't quote unquote own Tangle Tower, at least not fully. But if he had an infinite amount of wealth, that might change some things. Frey either found out about it or had an idea. I still need to catch up on your previous streams. Love that you're getting into Twitch. Thanks, Eli. Yeah. Yeah, I've always wanted to stream games for like a long time. Or at least just do playthroughs of games for a long time. So I'm really happy I'm finally doing this. Basically accomplishing one of my goals in life. But yeah, Pointer was trying to breed gold in his laboratory. Freya found out about it. And now she's dead. So, yeah, it's looking pretty interesting so far, isn't it?
It's an old coat rack. Looks thoroughly neglected.
2 cloaks, and a green hat draped on top for good measure.
Nice.
A single book on a little makeshift table.
This is creeping me out slightly.
Why?
This is creeping you out slightly, not the attic or anything else.
I think it's a children's book.
Also, yeah, don't worry about catching up, Eli. I've done like a lot of hours of streaming, so I understand. Also, thank you for the comments and for watching. Okay, children's book, Mists of the Sea and Sky, a children's picture book. It looks very old. The Ink Dip, an elegant bird with red and white plumage, the silver snake, an aquatic reptile with no eyes and a long tongue. Wow. The Soul Bearer, a crab with 3 differently sized claws, which I think is this right here too. The thing that Freya left us. The Amphibium, a frog-like creature walking on 2 legs. Okay, so I mentioned before that this is actually a sequel to another game. Now, you don't necessarily have to play the other game in order to play this one. It's not like a closely knitted one, but if you play the other game, then you know what this creature is, or you've seen this creature in the past game. He was a murder suspect in the last game. The connections between this game and Secret of the Swamp are very interesting if you play Secret of the Swamp. I'll probably say play Secret of the Swamp at some point on my Twitch. I really want to do like a Detective Grimoire marathon, essentially, showing the evolution of like where he started to where he is right now. I think that'd be interesting. I really like Detective Grimoire. I wish more people would get into.
We're too late. This photograph has been stabbed.
Why? By what?
Not sure. Some kind of metal stabbing thingy.
Ooh, a metal rod. A sleek but sturdy metal rod. It has been stabbed into a photograph. The rod has a curved and pointed tip like an arrow or the hand of a clock. It has a small loop in the back with a short length of red rope connected to it. The metal is perfectly clean and polished, and we've seen that red rope before.
So what's the photo?
Let's see. Oh, damaged photo. It's been framed, but it's slightly damp. The photograph shows a young girl. A large man is sitting next to her. Around them are several red and white birds. A metal object was stabbed into the photo, leaving a hole in the man's chest. Oh gosh. It's so morbid. But we should recognize the little girl and the birds surrounding her. That's the reason why the bird meant so much to Flora.
Do you know who it is in the photo?
We might have an idea. A strange photograph.
This man in the photo, he reminds me of something from one of our clues.
Yep.
Felix made a little model of him for Flora.
Yeah, it makes sense when you know who he is.
Lord Remington, Lord Fellow. It's not Lord Pointer. Did the Remington or Fellow? Oh, this is the same game you showed me when I was at your house. Yeah, this was the same game I showed you. it's a very fun game. I absolutely love it. So I'm playing on my Twitch stream. Sort of as a laid back, kind of nice game.
Lord Remington.
Remington. That makes him Flora's father.
Yep.
Meaning the girl in the photo is...
Yeah, it's her. See the bird, too.
I never would have guessed. Times sure do change.
I don't know. I don't think she looks so different.
She just looked sadder now than she did back then, which is really sad. Back when there were happier times. Bum, 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 bum.
Old cardboard boxes.
How exciting.
Oh, but there's more. They're also damp and empty.
Nice.
Basements don't normally have windows.
We're at the bottom of the lake. It must be.
Right. But if that's the lake bed, why does it look
Like what?
Why does it look like that? My bad.
white, smooth, no plants, no anything? That's not what a lake looks like.
Where are we?
You would think we would be at the bottom of the lake. But the lake's weird.
Did you notice how much light this room has? For a room with one candle?
It's all coming through the window.
I'm pretty sure lakes are supposed to be darker at the bottom, not lighter.
Why is there a room down here anyway? And why is it so much older than the rest of Tangle Tower?
We still don't really know why people came to live here in the first place.
Maybe they just wanted to get rich, like Pointer with his beetles.
I feel like the Remingtons came here for the lake, for what was in it.
It's empty though. More empty than a normal lake would be.
It is now, yeah. Maybe we're too late.
So there was something about the lake that was basically the reason why they set up Tangle Tower and why they are living here now. I mean, we have concluded that like mutations happen on this tiny little island, I guess you could say. So yeah, might be interesting to know.
It's an empty bookcase.
Something tells me it's been empty for a long time.
Yep.
This room looks old. Like, old.
It makes the rest of the house seem relatively modern.
So this was built first before Tangle Tower. Why?
Gives off kind of a dungeon vibe.
What do people actually use chains for?
Nothing good.
Oh, that's comforting to know.
There's a roll of paper up there.
Yep.
I'll see if I can reach it.
Let me guess. Blank.
Let's unroll it and see. Not blank. It's a map of the tower.
The Grand Hall.
What's that thing in the middle?
I think it's that big glass tube.
There's a study.
Study. Wait.
I know what you're thinking. And no, we never went in there.
There's another room we haven't found.
How did we miss it?
Because there's walls covering it. A secret room.
This seems pretty significant.
Agreed.
Making these discoveries is like sending chills down your spine. It's so nice. Building plans. Misted Mansion. North side cross section. Oh yeah, it's also called Misted Mansion, not Tangle Tower. Interesting. So this was supposed to be a mansion and not two towers? A roll parchment on which the plans for a grand mansion have been drawn. A horizontal line marks where the lake was before, and a second marks where it is now. The mansion has been built on top of a large structure above the lake, supported by pillars. Freya's room is listed as storage. Makes perfect sense. A room labeled study is in the center.
Let's head back up to the Grand Hall. I want to find that last room.
I feel you. Let's get.
Wow, it's dark all of a sudden.
How long were we down there?
Spooky, isn't it? A crazy
This
atmosphere.
must be it. This thing goes all the way up.
How are we supposed to get up there?
Hang on, it's pitch black, but I think there's a switch.
And a ladder.
A ladder.
Want to go up?
Let's do it. I always think it's like an elevator or something, but no, it's just a ladder. On to the next section. The Hidden Heart. The Hidden Heart of Tangle Tower. Now we're starting to get more into the nitty-gritty.
Is that a crab?
It's got a translucent exoskeleton. You can actually see its insides.
Gross.
Also, crabs normally have 2 claws, right? Not
Let's
3.
look closer.
Ugh. You sure we should be touching it?
Grimoire, don't you think it looks familiar?
Yep. The limbs of the creature can be rotated, and the claws can be opened or closed. Okay. I think we're
This
supposed
crab really reminds me of something.
That little wooden toy we found?
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to help us. I think I've seen it more recently.
Yep. So I have to look at my notes real quick. Hold on. This is a little creepy thing staring at me. Okay. Children's picture book. Okay, it's supposed to be, the 2 claws are supposed to be aligned like that, with both of them open, that one closed, okay. Hopefully I can.
Is that a crab?
It's got a translucent...
Also, crabs normally...
Yeah. Okay, so both these claws were opened. They were both to the... and they were both to the side. Kind of like that. Okay. And then this was up. I don't know if this is exactly right, but
I guess that's wrong.
I don't think we need to guess.
What do you mean?
We have all the information we need in our case file.
yeah, I just gotta get the right angle. Bum, 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 bum.
Nothing.
I'm sure I've seen this thing somewhere before.
Ah,
This crab really reminds me.
That little-
Yeah, but I don't think I've seen it more recently.
yeah, okay, come on. You gotta go back and forth between these and this. Wasn't in the secret research, was it? Okay, I didn't think so. It's this picture book. Yep. Don't close that. Come on, game, work with me here. Okay, picture book. Okay. Is it cheating if I just take a picture of it with my phone? So I don't have to keep going back and forth. Also, this thing is called a soul bearer. Rad name. Makes sense too, because you can see its insides.
Is that a crab?
It's got a
Also, crab.
Okay. So, both claws open. I have that right. And then this is just moves. There. Meanwhile, this... Not specifically that. This is more like that. And then this is up. Okay, it's... Looks pretty close.
Perfect.
Yes! Okay. What are you hiding, Krabby Crab?
What's this?
Something somebody didn't want us to find.
Obviously. Otherwise, why would they hide it with crab? Okay. A crossbow. Why would you need a crossbow?
What is it?
Nothing good, that's for damn sure. A weapon.
Was someone trying to hide it? From us?
I don't know, but it looks incomplete to me. I want to know what happened to the rest of it. Where are the other parts?
They were destroyed, hidden in the study. We found them already.
We found them already.
They weren't hidden good enough. This is pretty damning when you realize what this actually goes to. Especially when you remember who it belonged to. Okay, the really thingy, which we have no idea what it went to until now. And then we have a metal rod, aka we just found the murder weapon. A crossbow. Interesting, isn't it? Probably wouldn't have guessed it. But yep, here it is.
What do you make of it?
Not sure. Let's keep an open mind.
You don't think the crossbow is the murder weapon?
Oh no, the crossbow is definitely the murder weapon. But that doesn't mean we've solved the mystery.
Yep. We've completed step 1. I hate this thing. I hate this thing so much.
You know, in any normal room, this thing would be my main concern. In here, though, it barely makes the top 3.
Yeah.
It's a wooden pinboard, hung up on one of the chains.
Looks like there's a couple of things missing from it.
Yep. A pinboard. A large central sheet of paper has been pinned to it. 4 lines have been drawn from a gap in the center. A smaller sheet underneath features a drawing resembling the silhouette of a cloaked figure. Interesting, right?
An incinerator built into the wall. It's still pretty hot.
Is there anything left inside?
It's mostly ashes. But yeah, there's something.
Mm-hmm. Because there's always something in an incinerator, especially in a murder mystery. Oh no! For items, not much more than a pile of dust and ash. Among the ashes are several black buttons. Red colored scraps of fabric are still visible in the bird feather that Flora had. That's horrible.
An axe and some kind of hunting rifle, mounted on the wall.
Honestly, doesn't look like they've been moved in a few years.
I'm more worried about the third one.
The third one?
The one that isn't there.
Yep, we already know what that one is.
Coffee table, half-empty wine bottle, lamp left on. I'm gonna say someone's been using this room.
Have you been having any issues with your video lagging or skipping, or is my phone just slow right now? Yeah, it's been lagging a little bit for my streams. There's not too much I can do about it exactly, because I'm doing this on a Switch through a Macintosh, so there's gonna be a little bit of lag involved. Sorry about that, Eli. I hope you haven't been skipping too bad.
Someone complacent enough to leave their notebook lying around.
Yep. Notebook. Several pages have been ripped out, but a few remain. 5th ambassador located. Finally. Can't say I harbor any optimism, but still somehow disappointed. No better than the rest of them. Took my misted friend into the music room for experiments. It works. Perhaps a little too well. The laboratory was another disappointment. All that effort for what? He's even more short-sighted than I could have guessed. Went to the bottom. Nice view. Bottoms are always nice views. It's been mostly cleaned out, but I have what I need. She got in. She was careful. Nothing was moved. But I know. It's time. Time for what? Chicka chick? Yep.
Someone's been using this room.
Mm-hmm. But who exactly?
I don't get it. This room is in the original building plans for the mansion, but nowadays it's some big secret?
It's not a secret to everybody. At least one other person still knows about this room.
The way the notebook was left out on the table makes me think it's someone who has the room all to themselves.
Whoever it was, they left more than just the notebook. There's a whole design project on this pinboard. Feels like someone put quite a bit of effort into it.
It's a shame there are things missing from it. I'm betting it'd make more sense if we could see it all together.
That might not be impossible, you know.
Yep. We got everything. Okay, so this goes right here, and then this goes here. I'll rewatch this video after it's published. Hopefully I'll be able to hear you better.
The painting
Oh,
from
okay.
Freya's room and those sketches. Did Freya design Detective Hawkshaw's clothes? What kind of sense does that make?
I don't think that's why Freya made that painting, but it may have been why somebody took a photo of it to use as reference. And as for those sketches of Hawkshaw, I don't think Freya actually drew them. It was somebody else, someone with less of a talent for art.
Doesn't exactly narrow it down. Should we go ask Detective Hawkshaw about all this?
I'm not sure. I still don't know what's really going on.
Not really. Okay, so I adjusted the settings. Was I hard to hear for this entire stream? Ah. I would suck if I was. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, I've been having problems with the audio.
Who are all the people in this photo?
Not sure, but it looks like someone didn't like them very much. Their eyes have all been crossed out.
Ooh. Okay, this is another Detective Grimoire, Secret of the Swamp kind of thing, because this guy would look very familiar to you if you played that game. Like, very familiar. Group photo. A photograph in a study, wooden frame. It's dusty and looks several years old. A brass plaque at the base of the frame reads, "The Ambassadors of Misted Mansion." Interesting. The photo shows 2 women and 3 men wearing a variety of different styles of clothing. All 5 people had their faces crudely covered with black ink. Oh boy.
That photo is important. I'm sure of it.
I'd say so. Especially since somebody took the time
They
to
call this
deface
room
it.
a study?
What would you call it?
The secret death chamber of doom.
Creepy. I call it very creepy. 5 people.
Another photograph.
Their faces are all crossed out with some kind of black ink.
That's weird.
Oh, you think so?
No, I mean, something I just realized. Sally, did we meet any of these people here
Nope.
at Tangle Tower?
But they look familiar,
Well,
don't
the
they?
woman on the left looks a little like Poppy, but her style is way different. And at first I thought the guy on the top right was Felix, but now that I look at it, I don't think it is him.
They're all related to the people in these photographs to some degree. Really interesting, huh? The murder.
Time to solve this.
Yep. We basically have all the pieces to the puzzle now.
All right,
Premonitions of murder.
break out the notebook. Time to put it all together.
Let's start with this. It's an arrow for the crossbow, and it matches Freya's wound. It's the murder weapon. I'm sure of it.
Despite the fact it doesn't have any blood on it, and it wasn't found anywhere near the crime scene.
Mm-hmm. It was cleaned, then it was hidden. I don't think anybody expected us to get down to that room at the bottom of the lake.
Don't think so.
Okay, so Freya was shot by a crossbow. Where was it fired from?
It was fired from above Freya, it was fired from in front of Freya, it was fired from behind Freya. It was fired from above Freya. That's the only way any of this makes any sense.
It was fired from above Freya.
Above, huh?
Yeah, our diagram doesn't show everything. Let's add in the rest of the crime scene.
The attic.
Perfect hiding place. We even found a part of the murder weapon up there. The reel was used to pull the arrow back up through the crack in the floorboards.
Explains why we never found a weapon at the crime scene, I guess.
The murderer must have dropped the reel in the attic. I'm guessing they were in a hurry to escape.
Wait, the arrow was fired through the crack in the floorboards?
Yeah, it's directly above where Freya was found lying on her back.
Nope, doesn't add up. It would have missed her if she was still standing up by the painting.
Ah, right.
Unless...
Freya was already lying on her back. The arrow was fired diagonally. Freya was never hit by the arrow. Nope. We already established that it is entirely possible Freya was already knocked out by the time she was killed. AKA she was on her back first, and then she was killed.
Freya was already lying on her back before the arrow was fired.
I think so too.
She already been killed. She was relaxing. She was just, taking a nap right there. Nope, she'd fallen unconscious.
She'd fallen unconscious.
Something in the room caused Freya to fall unconscious.
This also explains why Flora was lying down, and we have several accounts saying that she was lying down when they entered the room. But why? The gramophone, paint fumes, or Flora? It had to have been the gramophone, obviously.
The gramophone.
Right.
But the gramophone by itself can't do that.
Yeah, because nothing was in the paint, otherwise Fiona would have, or Fifi would have noticed it. It couldn't have been Flora herself. Why would it? Especially since, again, we established Flora was also sitting down. So it had to have been something about the gramophone. There was something in the gramophone emits poison gas. It was the music being played. There was something in the gramophone.
There was something in the gramophone.
Mm-hmm. Something small.
It's gonna sound really weird, but let me see. Yep. Oh, it was this.
Pointer's research says it can emit an incredibly loud hiss when it feels threatened. Poppy and Fitz both said they heard a loud noise around the time of the murder. Neither of them had any idea what it was.
This seems a little far-fetched. Is it really loud enough to knock someone out?
No, I don't think so, not by itself. But don't forget, it was being amplified by the shape of the gramophone. Now, I don't think we're purely talking about volume either. It might just be a particular type of frequency.
This is getting kinda scientific. Since when do you know anything about the effects of weaponized audio frequency?
I don't, but I think someone else does. Do you remember that statue we found in the music room?
Mm-hmm.
The hornet's playing. It's a pretty similar shape to the one on the gramophone. That broken glass isn't there on accident. This is someone's science experiment.
Thinking about it, Pointer said he saw Flora was knocked out too. I guess they were both in range of the noise, although Pointer might have been lying.
Personally, I think he was telling the truth about that. It's pretty clear a powerful frequency did pass through Flora's tower. Caused quite a bit of damage too.
Yep. Because the gramophone and the tape were both cracked. Something had to have done that recently.
Those cracks didn't appear out of nowhere. Freya's paints, the pink cassette tape, and the gramophone itself, they all sustained similar damage while they were in that room.
That's some seriously powerful vibration. Enough to crack metal. Enough to knock someone out all the way across a room.
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't get. If the frequency was so powerful and had such a big range, How did the murderer pull it off? Wouldn't they have been in range too? Think about it. They can't have been much further away from the gramophone than Flora was.
They protected themselves. They were knocked unconscious. They were much further away. Nope, they protected themselves. We have earmuffs. Soundproof earmuffs that proves this.
They protected themselves.
How?
Yep. A pair of earmuffs.
These are some pretty heavy-duty earmuffs. I think they'd be enough to block out the sound.
Right. Let's go over everything from the start. 1. Freya is painting Flora's portrait. They're listening to music on the gramophone.
2. The murderer is hiding in the attic, wearing earmuffs.
3. The golden beetle starts to emit its hissing noise.
Hold on. How did it know?
The beetle?
Yeah, what triggered it at that particular moment? Pointer's research said it makes the noise when it feels threatened.
I'm not sure. Maybe something in the music?
Maybe.
4. Freya and Flora are both knocked unconscious by the vibrations. Freya lands on her back. She drops the brush and palette by her side.
5. The murderer fires the crossbow directly downwards.
6. The arrow is pulled back up on the reel.
7. The murderer leaves the attic, presumably.
8. The door is kicked down. Fitz and Poppy enter the room.
Then all that goes down.
That's There's something bothering me.
What?
I just want to check something. Let's go back to the crime scene.
Yep. Because, I mean, what happened to the beetle? Did someone take it away from the crime scene? Did they even have time? Bum, bum, bum.
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
Yep.
The plant. It's in the book.
What?
Look.
Yep. It's this right here. So what does that mean?
The answer is in the painting. I'm sure of it.
It's all so mysterious and creepy, isn't it?
I can see the stars.
And it's dark.
Bum 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 bum. Kind of just clicking everywhere. The paints.
And it's dark.
Dun, 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 dun. Bum 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 bum.
Freya, did you leave us a clue?
So where in the painting is it yellow? The missing clue.
So what's bothering you?
Something that's not here. The thing we didn't find. We know she was holding it during the painting.
Flora's ink dip feather?
It was here. In this room. Where'd it go?
We found Flora's hat. We found it somewhere else.
We found it somewhere else.
Among the ashes in the study.
We were a little too late to save it.
So it was stolen from the crime scene and ended up in the incinerator down in the study.
Someone wanted to destroy it, I guess.
But how? How was it stolen from up here in Flora's tower?
Presumably, Flora dropped it when she fell unconscious.
Yeah, and then what? The murderer couldn't have stolen it if they were up in the attic.
So the question is, how could they steal something from a room they weren't able to access? The final clue about the crime scene. Freya left it for us right here.
It's in the unfinished painting. Also, stealing something from a room that you have no access to. Where have we heard that before?
It's in the unfinished painting. It's not quite a photo, but still, it's an image of the crime scene recorded just before the murder. If only she'd finished it, then I could be totally sure.
It's true she never finished it, but she did intend to finish it.
Meaning?
We know more about the painting than what Freya actually got down on the canvas.
Yep.
That's not it.
Oop.
That's not it.
I did. I can't see the exact thing because of my banner. Oh well. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, it's because of her brush palette.
Freya prepared all the colors
Right.
she was going to need before she started painting.
Alright, because I mentioned that. My bad. I have my reason. The yellow paint was a mistake by Freya because, no. Dripped onto the canvas, no. Was added by the murderer, no. Isn't actually paint because, was going to be used to paint this sketch of something sitting in the window.
The yellow paint was going to be used to paint this sketch of something sitting in the window.
Yep, there was something else there.
In the window. Oh.
Can you take a guess what that was? It's something that looks very similar to the plant. It's a bird. And who has this bird?
There she is. Our little thief.
How long has it been there? Did it hear the whole conversation?
She did. But she's a very good listener.
What up, detective?
Well now, I think this has quite served its purpose, don't you?
Hello. Penelope.
Penny, why did you...
It's Penelope, if you don't mind. But before we begin, isn't there a certain formality demanding our attention?
You can't say leave her untied. She insists you tie her hands.
Lovely. Now, tell me, what was it that drove you this far? I'm ever so curious.
You can answer anything here. Kind of just pick whichever one you wanted. I wanted to help Freya's friends. Justice for Freya. I just needed to know the truth. I wanted to help Freya's
I wanted to help Freya's friends.
Is that right? Interesting.
Why did you do it, Penny? What did Freya do to you?
Absolutely nothing.
So, what? You just hated her indiscriminately?
Freya Fellow was an inspiration to us all. She was possessed of a great energy. The volition to create something from nothing. The willpower to walk beyond her boundaries. She was truly free. Everything I couldn't be.
You know what? I just realized I actually have no idea who Penelope Pointer really is.
Weird, isn't it? Considering we've met her, what is it, 3 times now?
Yep.
Exactly. How do we know this one isn't a disguise too?
You think you've already hollowed us out, don't you? Only a few short hours at Tangle Tower, and you feel like you've got everyone sussed. Unearthed every single one of our secrets. Nothing but bullet points for your notebook.
I mean, that was part of the game.
Go on, indulge me. What does it say in your notes about Penelope Pointer?
She's lonely, she's a murderer, she's a mystery. Again, either one of these is perfectly fine.
I suppose I can't argue with that, can I?
Penny, we only know what you choose to tell us, so why not help us out?
Very well. Penelope Pointer is actually not very important at all. She pales in comparison to those who came before her and to those that came after. Living at Tangle Tower, it is very difficult to attain the levels of self-realization you probably take for granted.
You sure this is a Tangle Tower thing, and not a you thing?
Perhaps you didn't notice. Not one of them is happy, not one.
Yeah, that's the reason why throughout the game you'll notice themes of entrapment, feelings that you just can't escape, and yeah, everyone here isn't happy. They're not truly happy. There's something that's keeping them here and something that's keeping them trapped. Whatever it is, maybe it's their feelings of obligation, or maybe it's just the fact that they just can't leave for whatever reason. Basically, yeah, that was the whole theme about Tangle Tower, is not being able to escape. Whereas Freya felt like the most free out of anybody and the most happiest. She was also the one that was most respected by everybody. At least that's how it seems.
So why stay? Why not just leave?
I thought she did leave. Penny, you said you traveled, didn't you?
I did. Many times I've walked away. It did not help me. You saw the family tree hanging in the grand hall, did you not?
Yeah, it lists a bunch of people who don't live here anymore.
A bunch of people who don't live here anymore. I couldn't have put it better myself. My mother, for one. My father, too. The other 2 Remingtons. Poppy's mother, Primrose. And her brother, Richard.
And Fitz's father.
That's 5. 5 people that might have lived here, but don't.
And that was the first question I wanted answered.
You wanted to know where they'd all gone?
More than that, I wanted to know if I belonged with them. I have no place here. Not among the Fellows, the Remingtons, or the Pointers. But I felt there must be a reason why everyone else left. Some common purpose they all shared. Perhaps it could be my purpose, too.
So, what did you actually do about it?
Nothing I could do, at first. Nobody would tell me anything. The more questions I asked, the fewer answers I got. Then, I found it. I was 19. Same age Freya is now.
Found what?
Same age Freya was. The aviary, the attic, you found the study.
The study. The one hidden in the middle of the house. It's right next to her bedroom.
I'd hear voices at night. Deep ones. And the strangest thing, the wall behind my bed would get incredibly hot. For hours on end. The paint would peel. Wallpaper wouldn't stay up. I thought I was cursed. I thought it was something trying to break through. Eventually, I couldn't take it anymore. I found my way in the same way you did. Once you know it's there, it's simple.
So, you got into the study and found the incinerator. That must have been a relief, right?
It was still warm when I found it. Then, I looked inside.
The era of Misted Mansion.
Let's see how thorough you've been. Tell me, do you know what a misted is?
Misted?
Misteds, sure, yeah. What? Yeah.
Mistids? Sure, yeah.
You're more observant than I thought.
Sorry, what are we talking about?
It's a collective term from before my time. Birds, insects, amphibians, anything living off the lake water. The mutation can take several generations, or it can happen overnight.
Wait, mistids, like cryptids, like Bigfoot or whatever.
A little egregious, isn't it? I suspect that was an intentional parallel. The main
Yep.
difference being mistids are perfectly real. They're just kept secret. Or at least, that was the original plan. As it happened, some got out. Quite a few got out.
How do you know all this?
When I entered the study at 19, I found a single object that rather changed my life. Something which answered my questions while at once creating all new ones.
Alrighty, what? Answer her questions. Was it the group photo that you found?
The 5 missing family members standing together as a single unit, calling themselves the ambassadors of Misted Mansion.
So, the house was renamed from Misted Mansion to Tangle Tower?
And
Yep.
rightly so. The age of Misted Mansion is long past. When I looked inside the incinerator on my first visit to the study, I found nothing but ash. The afterimage of a bygone era denied to me in its entirety. The study, the room at the bottom of the lake itself, all empty shells. I felt my only hope lay with the ambassadors. If I could find them, maybe they'd share the family history that Flora and the others were trying so hard to forget.
How did you track them down?
It was tough. They'd taken almost everything. Books, maps, charts, the creatures themselves, all lost, taken away or destroyed. But I got lucky. I got a lead. I found one, and he led me to the rest.
And? What happened? Why'd you paint out all their faces?
They didn't help you either, did they?
Disappointment.
19-year-old me had imagined they'd all left with a mission, a unified purpose, but they hadn't. They were, in fact, every bit as fractured as the people that still live here. Most of them had left tracking escaped mystids. Some claimed to be researchers, others little more than hunters. All 5 completely useless to me.
Even your own parents?
Eventually, I
subject.
returned to Tangle Tower. I had nowhere else to go. I considered giving up. But instead, I made a decision.
A lowly entomologist.
There was only one person at Tangle Tower still of interest to me. My dear Uncle Pointer had suddenly made a show of taking up astronomy. A fairly superficial charade. I don't think many people were fooled by it. But I knew it wasn't just a falsehood. It was a mask. Pointer had found something from the era of Misted Mansion.
He found the golden beetle, or at least evidence of it. Hence his little breeding experiment.
So, where did he get the beetle?
I cannot be sure, but I theorize that he received it in the post.
In the post? From who?
Who can say? Someone outside Tangle Tower. But the thought that he would be in contact with such a person, all that time, I decided to take what was owed to me.
So you stole it.
Stealing the beetle turned out to be only the first step. Upon realizing it was gone, Pointer made little effort to disguise his frustration. I asked what was bothering him. He foresaw no risk in sharing a little of the truth with his niece. He told me he'd lost a rare treasure, something he'd been keeping safe. I suggested, innocently, that perhaps it was not lost. Perhaps it had been stolen. He was very ready to believe he'd been the victim of theft.
Yep.
When I offered to call in a private detective, he jumped on the idea. She arrived the next day. Hawkshaw prides herself on her punctuality, as you know.
Why, though? Why go through all that? The name, the costume, and everything?
It's somewhat sad to admit, but I had little use left for Penny Pointer as she was. Hawkshaw afforded me new advantages, opportunities.
But didn't you have to pretend to be working for Professor Pointer?
Well, that was one of the advantages. Pointer was in such a desperate state, he was finally willing to share some of his secrets. On the second day, Hawkshaw explained she needed to be able to search the secret laboratory. Pointer gave in and gave me the code for the harp statue. Reluctantly, but still.
So, you stole Pointer's research?
I would have done, if I'd found anything worth stealing. But he had made remarkably little progress, barely scratching the surface of the beetle's true mystery.
Which is?
She carries an exoskeleton approximately 90% identical to gold. But it's not the 90% I'm interested in. Did you ever question what exactly makes the water here so unique? Before Misted Mansion was built over the lake, before the lake was even a lake, Lord Remington and his wife built a small structure here, a research station, supposedly. Fast forward 2 or 3 generations, and as you saw for yourself, it's been mostly cleared out.
The ambassadors took everything when they left.
And everything they didn't take was burned in the incinerator. However, possessing additional insight, I found something the others had missed. It's not much, but I have what I need.
So, why isn't this the end of the story? Why did you stay? Why did you kill Freya?
The Will of Freya Fella. So, what was up with killing her? You have an idea, but let's see what your reasoning is behind all this.
Simply put, Freya was too good for me. It's my fault. I pushed her over the edge, unknowingly, but still, I take the blame.
What are you talking about?
Did you know I based the design for Hawkshaw on something Freya painted?
Yeah. I imagine when she saw that, well, it'd be like something out of a nightmare.
That's right. I had assumed it was purely abstract. I just thought it had a good energy. I later discovered it was a figure of some kind, something from Freya's recurring nightmare. For all her vitality, I think Freya was probably the most troubled of all of us. She was desperate to leave Tangle Tower, but she couldn't just walk away. For quite some time, she'd been trying to break into Pointer's laboratory. Freya and her friends were halfway through deciphering those symbols on the harp statue, I believe.
Why did she care about getting into Pointer's lab?
That's exactly what I wondered. At first, I thought perhaps she just wanted to free the beetles. She has a fondness for them. What Pointer was doing upset her significantly.
Yeah.
But in fact, I think it was something else. I think she wanted to free Fiona. The real reason Freya was unable to leave Tangle Tower is
Her
that she
friends.
could not get Fiona to agree to come with her. We're now firmly in the realm of speculation, but I think Freya felt that exposing the darker secrets of Tangle Tower, not just to the rest of the family, but to the world, would compromise all 3 families, and perhaps, somehow, free Fiona from the shackles of her inheritance. That was her plan anyway, but something happened. Before Freya could find her way into Pointer's laboratory.
She found her way into your study, found your notes, found that photograph. I'm willing to bet she put it all together quicker than we did.
Yep.
So she worked out what had happened to the 5 ambassadors. Specifically, what you'd done to them when they refused to help you.
Freya had made a promise to paint Flora as a birthday gift, a parting gift no less. She'd be in a locked room, several hours away from her friends. It was my best chance.
But why hide in the attic? And why bother with the beetle at all?
The beetle in the gramophone wasn't for Freya. It was for Flora. She didn't deserve to be involved. She suffered enough.
True.
I couldn't get Flora out of the room, but if she could be unconscious, then she wouldn't have to witness anything.
Why the knife? The illusion of the painted knife with the blood.
That was for Fiona. And Poppy too, I suppose. It gave them something to focus on.
You mean it distracted them while you made your escape?
It helped them cope. The very idea of something abstract, something supernatural. I believe it made things marginally less painful for them, initially. Worked on you, too.
So why are you still here? Why not take your first chance and leave?
Still killed her friend.
Well, I've been waiting for an opportunity to get my beetle back.
Oh boy.
I'd really rather not leave without it.
Wait, it's still here?
It's still inside the gramophone.
Yeah, warning. This is gonna get a little. Imagine hearing that. Like, gosh, no wonder why they hated that sound. I hate that sound. Lake's Edge.
What's going on?
Poppy, they are both awake.
I can see.
You two all right?
My head hurts. What happened to us?
You were both unconscious. 14 minutes by my count.
Really?
You're both fine. No injuries.
Was it the beetle? In the gramophone? I heard it through the ceiling in my room.
The exact same sound we heard before the murder.
I guess it must have been.
So how did we get down here? What happened to Penny?
Fitz saved both of you, obviously.
When I reached Flora's tower, you were both unconscious, and Penny was crouched down beside you. She had her crossbow on her, but who knows? She may have just been checking you were both asleep.
Did you know that she was the murderer?
Poppy and Fifi suspected her. Apparently, they were pretty close to solving it themselves.
Fitz did not want to believe us, because he liked Penny. A lot.
Yep.
But what happened?
Would be hard to
Fitz,
swallow.
what did she do when she saw you?
She jumped out the window.
What? Did she survive?
She did.
I heard something land in the garden outside my room, but by the time I got out there to check, she was already gone.
Hang on. Poppy, why do you have Penny's hat bird?
She left him behind. I found him sitting on the floor in the aviary, all by himself. Poor little thing. The mean lady didn't care about you at all, did she? No,
No.
she didn't.
I apologize. Poppy seems to be under the illusion that the bird can understand human language.
So yeah, that bird was alive the entire
So,
time.
Penny got away.
I'm afraid she did.
We had suspected she might try to escape. I was stationed here by the lake's edge. I proved to be an ineffective guard. She took the boat.
Did she take the beetle with her?
Nope,
How do you know?
because it's right here.
It was still in the gramophone. I guess I scared her off before she had a chance to take it.
Nice.
Poppy, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to give it back to your father?
No, I'm not. It doesn't belong to anyone. So, I'm going to put it on the ground and never bother it again. I think that's what she would have wanted.
It's for the best. It's highly doubtful he would have been able to breathe that anyway. Anyway, that was Tangle Tower. It's a really good game. It's one of my personal favorites. It has a great art style, great soundtrack, great voice acting. It's just a lot of fun. I like to come back to this game every so often because even though the story doesn't change, everything's pretty much the same, no matter how many times you play through it. It's just nice to experience the story again, experience these characters, the writing, and all that. So yeah, I highly recommend picking this up on Switch. if you haven't already. I believe it's also on Steam. It's not very expensive. I think at most it might be like 20 bucks or something like that. But yeah, pick up this game to show the creators a bit of love. Oh, and play the previous game too, Detective Grimoire Secret of the Swamp. Personally, I'd say play that before you play this one, if only just because you can get the references to Secret of the Swamp. Plus, Secret of the Swamp is like $5 or something like that. It's not very expensive. And you'll enjoy that one too. It's a great game as well. So yeah, that was Tangle Tower. I want to thank everybody who joined me for this stream. Hopefully I can get my audio all sorted out. Apparently I was still quiet for this game, which is unfortunate. Oh, actually, well, let's check out the art gallery. I don't know if I have checked this out myself. Yeah. Alrighty, let's check out the characters. Detective Grimoire. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm adjusting my microphone again, because I need to see this. But I also don't want my microphone to be too far away. Okay. Alright, Grimoire is tricky to get right, as he needs to be flexibly needs to be a flexible mix of silly and heroic, lighthearted and dramatic. He has a somewhat pretentious manner, projecting the persona of someone more experienced than he actually is. Importantly, he can be totally sincere when he wants to be. He does kind of have a bit of an air, but you can tell, like, he means well. Like, sure, he can get, like, a little cocky or sometimes, but he's still a good guy. One of the challenges of Grimoire's design is his color palette. Brown, brown, and brown. He doesn't need to be a super colorful character. In fact, it's important to have contrast between the different characters. Still look closely and you'll notice he's actually comprised of various pinks masquerading as browns. Yeah, I did notice that. Like, his jacket is actually more, has like a pink sort of color to it. Like just a slight shade of pink also. This is a bit more reminiscent, like this first design is a bit more reminiscent of his Secret of the Swamp design, which, if you notice, that has also kind of a sweeping hairstyle to it. This one I think is a little bit too leaning towards the pretentious side, because that's not, the pretentious is not strictly his character. He's not an overtly pretentious character, he can just be sometimes. This one's a bit more closer to it, but I think this one makes him out to be a little bit more, I don't know, he looks a bit more like a thug, a bit more menacing in this one. Now we're getting a bit more closer to what his design is in this game. Detective Grimoire was probably one of the more difficult characters to develop, as there was already a strong identity that existed in the previous games, yep, the ones they mentioned. I felt like he needed to be the friendly, approachable gumshoe, so I tried to stick to round, gentle shapes while still exaggerated his features. I wanted to work towards an iconic silhouette. Yeah. If you actually go to the very first game that he ever appeared in, his very first appearance was actually in a Flash game. He looked very kind of like your basic detective in that Flash game. He didn't have anything really that striking about him. And then Secret of the Swamp sort of developed his hairstyle, his outfit a little bit better. But I think like this one really helps to solidify it a bit more too. I really like his design in this game. Possibly more than Secret of the Swamp, but Secret of the Swamp has a very different design to it. Okay, I wanted to really make sure I had a good grasp on how Grimoire would look from different angles before I tackled his animations. He's got a bit of a penchant for performance and overwrought gestures, and I think a lot of his personality comes out in his movements. That said, I never want to draw his bouncing hair again. I can understand that. That would have been difficult, but yeah, I think his mannerisms really does get across like his kind of character. Once you see his animations, you definitely get a feeling for who he is. And yeah, I definitely like the design that they landed on for this game. I think it's a really great design. It also fits with the voice acting very well. Oops, I didn't mean to close that out completely. Alrighty, let's check out Sally. Sally appeared in the previous game with her hair down her back and a long palette. However, when redesigning her for this game, I quickly realized that this made for a really cluttered silhouette, so I changed it to the bunches. A key aspect of Sally's face is her eyeshadow, accenting her slightly unimpressed default facial expression. Yeah. I always wondered why they changed up her hair so drastically, because her hair really was like in a long braid down her back, and now I get it. It's to make her silhouette more noticeable, which I could definitely understand that. So I definitely get why they changed up her design. I like characters who wear those little jackets. To me, they give off a modern, adventurous energy, so I thought it would be a good outfit for Sally. Sally's personality expanded for this game. Her starting point is slightly bored, but just beneath the surface, she has a great deal of passion for detective work and life in general. Yeah, in Secret of the Swamp, she was kind of like just the bored worker at this attraction or this tourist trap. But yeah, they kind of expanded her character a little bit more. Even her relationship with Grimoire seems to have changed slightly for this game. In the previous game, you almost got a sense that they were kind of flirting with each other. In this game, though, they seem definitely more like colleagues, co-workers. If you didn't know like the previous games or anything, you would have assumed they would be working with each other for a long time. I don't know what's the time lapse between this and the last game, but yeah, this is the first game where she appears as Detective Grimoire's assistant, and I'm glad they brought her back. I'm glad they brought her back for this game. She was good in Secret of the Swamp, and in Secret of the Swamp they kind of hint that she would make an appearance again, so I'm glad. These drawings show Sally still wearing her hair in the style from the previous game, although Catherine has already started looking for ways to give it a stronger silhouette. Wait, who is that in the bottom right corner? Okay, so this character actually doesn't make an appearance in this game. She was in the very first game and Secret of the Swamp. There was this little girl who would assist Grimoire at random intervals. In the very first game, she gives you the map. In Secret of the Swamp, she appears every so often, just almost as a guide to kind of nudge you in the right direction. She didn't appear in this game, I imagine because they already had Sally as the assistant, and I guess they just couldn't fit her anywhere into this game, which I can definitely understand. Fun fact, Detective Grimoire also worked with a police officer in the previous games. He'd also be kind of like the guide and kind of help you out, kind of, again, serve a similar purpose to Sally, just didn't follow you around or anything like that. He just kind of stayed in one location. You could go back to him. He doesn't make an appearance, but again, I think that's because Sally's in this game, so they didn't really need him to make an appearance. These are designs from a much older version of the game, long before it became Tangle Tower. You can see how both Sally and Grimoire are about halfway towards their Tangle Tower redesign. An early story idea was to include the little girl in the team. Obviously, we changed our minds. Yeah, I feel like the dynamic between Sally and Grimoire is so tight that adding in another character might have been a little too much. So I can understand why they definitely changed it. And yeah, they were definitely leaning more towards the Secret of the Swamp design. This is actually what he looked like in Secret of the Swamp. Not exact, but yeah. Sally was a tricky one to get right. She tends to understand her actions, but isn't above throwing in a little pretentiousness. I like to think she's mocking how Grimoire indulges in theatrical gestures. Yeah. I think the payoff is worth the effort, though, as she's one of the characters whose animations I'm most pleased with. Okay. This is very interesting. I like seeing like this insight. I like it when creators include art and kind of the development process. I find it very, very interesting. So yeah, I'm not going to go over everything in this stream. It's already going a little bit long. We looked at Detective Grimoire and Sally. If you want to check out the rest of this, I'm sure there's either videos, pictures, or you can just pick up the game yourself and see this all for yourself in person. But yeah, thanks for joining me for this stream. I really enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. So yeah, I'll be seeing you next time, where I'll be playing some more Phoenix Wright on my Twitch, and I'll probably pick another late night game to play, possibly. I like just kind of doing like these little personal streams myself. We'll have to see how it goes though. Alrighty, bye.